English Talk Show. Learn English through real conversations.
Welcome back, everyone, to the English Talk Show podcast. I'm Peter, and as always, our goal here is simple: help you improve your English by listening to real, everyday conversations. We talk about life, work, dreams, struggles, everything you'd normally hear in real-life discussions. This method is incredibly effective because it helps you train your listening skills and learn expressions as they're actually used. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to comment where you're watching from. I love knowing where our listeners are tuning in from, and I'll be sending shout-outs in the next episode. All right, so today's episode is special. I'm talking to someone who made a bold decision, leaving her job as a teacher to build a life on the internet. She's now a content creator focused on motivation, self-growth, and overcoming personal challenges. Emily, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Peter. That was such a kind intro. I'm really happy to be here. Honestly, I've been looking forward to this conversation all week.
Same here. I've got so many questions for you. But first, how's your day been?
It's been good. A bit of a slow morning. I spilled coffee all over my notebook, so that wasn't great. But I survived. How about you?
Oh, no, not the notebook. That's the worst. I'm doing fine, though. Just trying to stay on top of things. Podcast days are my favorite.
I can imagine. It must be fun getting to talk to so many people with different stories.
Definitely. And yours is one I've been wanting to hear more about. So let's go back. What kind of teacher were you?
I taught English and literature at a public school. It was challenging, but very fulfilling. I loved connecting with my students, but I started feeling like I was stuck in a loop, you know?
Like doing the same thing every day, year after year?
Exactly. I kept thinking, is this really it? Is this all I'm going to do for the next 30 years? It scared me a little.
That's such a common feeling, but not everyone actually does something about it. What was the moment that made you start thinking about doing something else?
I think it started during the pandemic. I was teaching online and spending a lot of time on YouTube and Instagram. I began following people who talked about mindset, motivation, and personal growth, and something clicked.
Like, I want to do that too?
Kind of. But at first it was more like, that looks fun. I wonder if I could try something like that. I didn't even tell anyone at first. It was just a quiet curiosity.
I love that. A quiet curiosity. That's usually where great things start.
Yeah, and I remember the first video I ever posted. It was just me talking for 3 minutes about how hard it is to stay motivated when no one believes in you. I didn't even look straight at the camera.
I've been there. The first videos are always a little rough.
Oh, definitely. I looked like I was in witness protection or something. But you know what? A few people commented saying it helped them. And that was enough for me to want to keep going.
That must have felt amazing. Like, wait a minute, someone actually needed this.
Yes, I think that was the beginning. Not the moment I decided to quit teaching or anything, but the seed was definitely planted.
So, after that first video, did you post again right away, or did it take a while?
Oh, I hesitated a lot. I kept watching it and thinking, do I sound weird? Am I being too dramatic? I didn't even tell my family I was posting content until like the third or fourth video.
Totally relatable. It's such a vulnerable thing to do, putting yourself out there online.
Yes, especially when you're not used to seeing yourself on camera. I kept criticizing every little thing, my voice, my hair, my background, everything.
So, how did you push through that phase? Because most people stop right there.
I think what helped was reminding myself why I was doing it. I wasn't trying to be famous or go viral. I just wanted to speak to someone who maybe needed to hear what I wish I had heard when I was struggling.
That's beautiful. You weren't chasing numbers. You were building a connection.
Exactly. And I remember one message that changed everything for me. It was from a girl who said, I cried watching your video. Thank you for saying what I couldn't put into words. That one message kept me going for weeks.
Wow. I just got chills. That's the kind of thing that makes all the self-doubt worth it.
It really does. And it made me think maybe I don't need to be perfect. Maybe I just need to be real.
Yes, that's such a powerful mindset shift. And it's something language learners can relate to too. You don't need perfect grammar to connect. You just need to show up.
I love that. I always say, people connect to your truth, not your perfection.
Preach, Emily. So, when did things start feeling a little more serious? Like, not just a hobby, but something you might actually build into a career?
I'd say maybe 6 or 7 months in, I started getting more consistent. I had a basic content schedule, and I was learning how to edit better, speak more clearly, structure my messages.
So, you were leveling up your skills along the way.
Definitely. I was teaching myself everything from how to write captions that made sense to how not to cringe watching myself on camera. Jeez.
That last one is a skill in itself.
Oh, totally. And around that time, I also started getting small collaborations, like a brand would send me a journal or ask me to post a quote using their font. Nothing major, but it gave me hope.
That's the spark right there. Those little moments that whisper, keep going.
Yes. And even when the money wasn't really coming in yet, the feedback was. People were sending messages, sharing my posts, tagging friends. That gave me a...
So at this point, you were creating content regularly, getting feedback, even a few brand collabs. But you were still teaching, right?
Yes, I was still working full-time at the school. I'd wake up super early, teach all morning, get home by late afternoon, and then try to record videos while still half-dressed in my work clothes. It was exhausting, but I loved it too. Creating content gave me a kind of energy that teaching had stopped giving me.
I bet that contrast must have been really eye-opening.
It was. I started noticing that I was more excited to get home and write a caption than I was to prepare a lesson plan. And I don't say that with pride, honestly. I felt a bit guilty at first, like I was cheating on my profession or something.
That makes so much sense. When you've invested years into something, walking away from it, even emotionally, is really complicated.
Exactly. I kept asking myself, am I being irresponsible? Selfish? I mean, teaching wasn't just a job, it was a part of my identity. And yet, I couldn't ignore the shift happening inside me. It felt like my soul was gently pulling me somewhere else.
That sounds incredibly emotional. Was there a moment that made you finally say, okay, it's time to leave?
Yes, and it's a moment I'll never forget. I had just uploaded a video called "It's Okay to Outgrow Your Old Dreams." It wasn't even planned. I just spoke from the heart. And the next morning, I woke up to hundreds of messages. Not likes, messages. From people who said they felt seen, understood, encouraged. I sat in my kitchen and just cried.
Wow.
I realized then that I had been holding on to teaching not because I still loved it, but because I was afraid. Afraid of not making enough money, afraid of failing, afraid of people saying, oh, look, she tried and it didn't work. But that morning, something shifted. I felt like if I don't choose this now, I might never feel this alive again.
That gives me goosebumps, seriously.
Thank you. It wasn't like I walked into school the next day and quit, though. I spent weeks doing math, checking my savings, making budgets. I'm a dreamer, but I'm also pretty grounded.
That's smart. People often think quitting your job to follow your dream is just this impulsive movie moment. But it takes planning, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. So much planning. I even created a worst-case scenario document. Like, what would I do if everything failed? Move in with my sister? Get a part-time job? Start tutoring again? Just knowing I had a safety net helped me breathe.
That's actually brilliant. It turns the big, scary what if into something manageable.
Exactly. And then when I finally handed in my resignation, Peter, I cried. Right there in the principal's office. Not because I was sad, but because I was free. I felt like I had finally honored the voice in me that had been whispering for years.
That's such a powerful image. It's freedom, but it comes with tears.
Yes, it's strange how peace can be loud. My heart was pounding, but I felt incredibly calm too, like I had finally come home to myself.
Emily, this is so inspiring, and I know so many people listening right now are feeling a spark they didn't expect. So, now you've made the leap. You're officially living off your content. What's life like on this side of the decision?
Honestly, it's not perfect, but it feels right. Some days I'm super productive and motivated. Other days I'm anxious, staring at a blank screen for hours. Hashtag scary. But even in the hard moments, I don't regret it. I feel aligned.
That word, aligned, hits different. It's like, even when it's tough, it still feels like you're where you're supposed to be.
Yes, that's it. And once I stopped trying to please everyone and focused on being authentic, things started flowing. The audience grew naturally, and opportunities followed.
Speaking of opportunities, let's talk about your book. I've read it, and I have to say, it stayed with me. Without giving spoilers, of course.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. It's called What I Saw After Losing My Sight, and it's a fictional story about a boy who loses his vision, but gains something even more powerful: purpose. I wanted it to reflect how we can transform pain into something meaningful.
It's beautifully written, very emotional, but hopeful at the same time. And for those listening, there's a link in the description if you want to check it out.
Thank you, Peter. It was scary publishing something so personal, even in fiction, but I knew someone, somewhere, needed it, just like I needed stories like that when I was younger.
That's the power of storytelling. It's not just about entertainment, it's about healing and connecting.
Absolutely. And now I try to mix everything I've learned, teaching, storytelling, coaching, into the content I create. It's a blend of who I was and who I'm becoming.
For those listening who are thinking, I want to do this too, what's one honest piece of advice you'd give them?
Just one? Okay, I'd say don't start for the money. Start because there's something inside you that needs to be shared. And once you begin, commit. Be consistent. Even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching, that's when character is built.
That's so true. The beginning is the quietest part, but that's also where the roots grow.
Exactly. And another thing, don't romanticize it. Creating online is hard work. There's pressure, there's burnout, there's comparison. But if you stay connected to your why, you'll make it through.
That's such a refreshing perspective. Real, but hopeful.
I hope so, because I wish someone had told me all this back then. Maybe I would have started sooner, or at least felt less alone.
Well, someone's hearing it now, and I'm sure they needed to. Emily, thank you so much for being here. This has been one of my favorite episodes ever.
Thank you, Peter. It's been a joy. I'm so glad we got to talk like this. And thank you to everyone listening. Wherever you are in the world, keep believing in your small beginnings. They matter.
I couldn't agree more. Make sure to subscribe, drop a comment telling us where you're listening from, and we'll be back next time with another inspiring story. Until then, take care, everyone.